Hello guys, this is Language-Enthusiast. Today is Tuesday, September 26th. The time now is 8:35 p.m. Okay, one of my dogs, which is smaller, named James, is on my lap, panting. I wonder if he's thirsty or he's too excited. I'm not sure though. Okay. In yesterday's video, I said that I would go to the hospital this morning, but I didn't because I totally forgot that I would have to go to my rehab today. And instead of going to the hospital, I had to go to my rehab. This is my second one at the orthopedic hospital, orthopedic doctor. I went there at 8:50, 20 minutes later than the previous appointment. I couldn't decide whether or not I should go there by car. I couldn't decide whether I should go there by car or on foot. In either way, it would take as much time anyway. But if I go there on foot, I would have to eat something before going there, but I didn't feel like eating anything this morning. I don't know. Probably I couldn't sleep well last night, even though I went to bed even before midnight, but I only had 7-hour sleep, which is 1 hour less than I hope to have. And then I didn't feel like eating at all this morning, which is pretty unusual. I could have taken some protein drink, but I didn't feel like drinking that either. So I decided to go there with my empty stomach. I just brushed my teeth and drink some water so that I wouldn't be dehydrated myself. And then I decided to go there by car anyway. And then today I wasn't behind my schedule. I got there ahead of time. I had enough time to go there, and I went there and got into the hospital or clinic. Okay, and I took out my patient ID. And then I got my information, it's in the file. And before going up to the second floor where my rehabilitation room was, okay, and then before going to the second floor, going up to the second floor, I had to check my blood pressure. Okay, and using this little machine, I took my blood pressure, and then and this paper came out. This paper, my blood pressure printed on, and I put the paper into the file, and then going up to the second floor where my rehabilitation room was, okay? And then I said hello to everyone, Okay, there are many staff there, like nurses and medical staff, and also physical therapists. And at first, I had electric treatment at first, okay? And the nurse put something warm onto my shoulder to keep my shoulder warm. And then for the next 10 minutes, I was in heaven, because having that electric treatment was really pleasant. It makes me feel like heaven, although I've never been to heaven myself, okay? And then while I was getting the electric treatment, I just closed my eyes, and then I always want to concentrate on the treatment because it's so good, it's so nice. I really want to appreciate every minute, every second, okay? And then my name was called after the electric therapy. My name was called, and I just wondered who was going to be my today's therapist. And I just wished that my therapist wasn't going to be that nasty guy I was talking about somewhere in my previous videos. About 2 or 3 years ago, when I broke my fingers, no, actually I broke my finger, one finger, okay? And when I was walking my dog, at that time I was keeping this Labrador retriever, and she's pretty big. She's not as big as normal sized Labrador retrievers, but still she was quite stronger than smaller dogs, right? And then when I was walking her in the park, I actually don't remember what happened to my hand, but she just started running so fast, and then I felt this sensation to my finger of my left hand. Next to my pinky, or I don't know how to call it, but next to my middle finger. And I didn't know what happened, actually, but it was so painful. I had never felt such pain in my life. And as soon as I felt the pain, I realized that my finger must have been broken. And after that, I I hurried home. And because it was so painful, it hurt so much that I couldn't continue to walk any longer. And then I rushed home. I hurried home and went to the clinic. This clinic, where I always take my rehab. Okay, the same hospital, same clinic. And then I was told that my finger was broken. And then I had to rehab my finger, but I didn't go there constantly, probably. My finger got stiff. And even now, I can't bend my fingers properly, or the finger that have been broken turn out to be a bit, crooked. Okay, and then I cannot make a fist. I don't know how to explain this action, but open your hand, right? Open your hand, spread your hand, and I don't know how to explain this action. When you try to grip something, you can make a fist, right? I cannot do this properly. On my left hand, I can do this. But on my left hand, I cannot do this because my finger, one of the fingers which was broken, turned out to be a little bit crooked. To my disappointment. Okay, anyway. And then at that time, I was having my rehab for my broken finger, and I met this nasty therapist who was a bit dominant and manipulative and nasty and mean. Okay. His remarks were so condescending, and I didn't like him very much. And he always did to me something really painful physically. And his remarks were very cynical and sarcastic. And I was so vulnerable. And I was so weak. I didn't like him very much because of his attitude, remarks, words. And then today, he was actually my therapist. And I was a bit scared. I was afraid. But there was nothing I could do about it. So just I decided to experiment, okay? I decided to see if he would be okay this time. And it turned out that he was a bit kinder than he had been. And his remarks were less cynical and less strong. And he was okay. He was pretty friendly, and he was okay. And when I saw his eyes, he was wearing a mask because all the staff have to wear masks, and even patients have to wear masks. Everybody in the room everybody was wearing masks. Okay, not a single person was not wearing a mask. Okay. And then all I was able to see was his eyes. Okay. As for his face, all I was able to see was his eyes. And his eyes looked very kind, soft, sweet. And that reminded me of someone who was my acoustic guitar teacher. I was learning how to play the acoustic guitar in the year 2019. That year, I was learning a few musical instruments, including acoustic guitar, electric guitar, not electric guitar yet, okay, electric bass guitar, and also I was learning how to sing. And also I was learning jazz vocal. That year, in the 2019, was the year when I was learning so many things, related to music. And the eyes of the physical therapists reminded me of my acoustic teacher. Somehow, I got the impression that those two people had similar eyes, similar, I don't know. I got a similar impression from their eyes. Okay, anyway. I tend to fall in love with someone pretty easily. So if I learn something, I could fall in love with the teacher pretty easily. I don't know why. I think it must have something to do with my childhood trauma, probably. I tend to look for someone respectful, someone I can trust. And if I see some people, I tend to feel close to them pretty easily. I'm like, oh, is this the right one? Is this the person that I could trust 100% or something like that? And it's like that. I don't care. I can't say this in detail, but I don't care anybody. I don't know. No, this is not right. It's like I fall in love with people pretty easily because I tend to believe that this is that one. Am I understood properly? I hope so, though. Okay, anyway, just forget this topic, okay? And yes, long story short, because I had to go to my rehab today, which I totally forgot about and I gave up the idea of going to the hospital this morning. And after coming back from the rehab, I was pretty exhausted. I didn't know why. I don't know why, and I took a nap for a while, and then I was not feeling very well today. These days, I haven't been feeling okay from time to time. I don't know why. Okay, anyway, and now I'm okay. Now it's night, right? Tonight, now I'm feeling okay though. Okay, anyway, and I'm not sure if I go to the hospital tomorrow. I don't know, but the next day, after Wednesday, this Thursday, I'm going to hair salon. I'm going to my hair salon to get a haircut. It's high time I went there to get a haircut. So I made a reservation for it on my app. Okay, today I'm going to talk about this woman I happened to find on YouTube yesterday. She's a yoga teacher, and she's Japanese. She's 50 years old, but she looks much younger, probably because of her good posture and her natural lifestyle, natural skincare, and she pays much attention to what she eats, and she knows how to make herself happy. She knows very much about how to stay healthy and how to stay positive. And I was pretty impressed by her. And she is living in many foreign countries. She's been living in many foreign countries, and at the moment, she's probably living in Mexico. And this is what I heard from her in her videos, though, that in Mexico, as for COVID-19, that country didn't have any regulation or whatsoever. Like, almost nobody didn't get a shot. Vaccination, or I don't know. I forgot to call it, how to call it, though. It's a shot, right? It's a vaccination. Is it okay? Vaccination. And almost no one is wearing a mask, and they didn't care about COVID-19. And in Mexico, many people came to the country because there was no, for 2 weeks period. Okay, they didn't have that period. So when they arrive, about 2 years ago. Yes, I'm talking about things 2 years ago, though. At that time, in the middle of COVID-19, even though many countries have such 2 week period after enter the country for people who entered the country, they have to stay in a certain place for 2 weeks or so, right? They should be isolated for as long as 2 weeks, right? Until they can be proved that they are free of coronavirus. But in Mexico, they don't have this period, meaning if people arrive in the country, they can just go to their destination right away. And in those days, people, foreign people who came to the country, from outside of the country, those people are like, they don't believe the coronavirus thing at all. They most of them assumed that it's a conspiracy. So they didn't believe. They believe that it's a natural thing. Okay? It's unnatural for them. It was something unnatural for them. They didn't believe it. And they came to Mexico just because they didn't want to stay in their country, since they could be regarded as someone crazy because they didn't believe it. But most of the people in their country believed it, and they tried to trust their government, and they tried to follow the regulation. But those people didn't believe this. They didn't want to follow this, so they just wanted to get out of the country to come to Mexico, because the country, there was no regulation, and she was there at that time, and I'm not sure if she's been still living in Mexico, but I think she is though. Okay, and she was also talking about English in her videos, and she said that many Japanese people who go to foreign countries tend to believe that they don't have to be a good speakers. They don't have to be good speakers of English, and because once they get into the country, get into the foreign country, English-speaking country, many people around them must be speaking English, and then they will be able to pick up the language quite naturally without making an effort. But she said that was totally wrong, and that was an illusion. That is an illusion. So you should at least be a good speaker before going to a foreign country. Otherwise, she says that you cannot make even a single friend. You cannot make a friend. Unless you speak good English, you cannot make friends. And when I hear this, it made me a bit nervous, because I listened to her words and feeling as if she was talking to me. She was talking to me that my English was not good enough. And I don't know how much English I should speak. I'm not really sure if I will be okay if I go to any English-speaking country now. I'm not really sure if my English is good enough or not, because I've never tried before, for one thing. Yeah, she was telling the truth. Yeah, I know that. But I don't know how much I should be good at. So it makes me feel a bit nervous and worried and anxious and uneasy. But all I can do now is to try to improve my speaking skills by speaking, right? Okay, and I found another person, and no, it was not a person, but I found this book today, and I got interested in it, and I want to practice English using this book. And it was on my shelf. There are many books. I have many books related to English. How to improve your English kind of books on my shelf or shelves. Okay, and that was just one of them. And I have my bookshelf on the first floor, and also I have some bookshelves on the second floor. And that book was from the bookshelf on the first floor. Okay. And then I was looking for any books on the shelf on the first floor, and I came across this book. It was quite new. meaning that I haven't used it much. 80% of the books on my shelves are like new. Okay, I just bought them and just let them stay for such a long time. Okay, and then I got interested in this book. It's about business English. Some people from this company speak to each other in English. And the author of this book says that he made this book made this book something that is easy for us to use. And he uses simple expressions on the sentences because business English sounds very complicated, right? Because business English deals with many specific words and expressions, technical terms and so forth, right? And then when you look at the book, when you look through the book, if there are so many complicated expressions and technical terms there, it makes you I don't know how to say it, reluctant to study with it, right? So that's why he tried to make it as simple as possible. And the conversations seem to be very interesting to me. And I was reading the book for a while, and I learned that it comes with the CD, but it was missing. So I really wanted to find it. I didn't remember where it was. I didn't remember where I put it. So while I was reading the book, I was into reading the book, but when I started thinking about the CD, I couldn't help but stop reading, and because I really wanted to look for the CD. I was occupied with the thought. My mind was occupied with the CD. It's typical of me. Like when I was doing something, I tend to concentrate on it. But once something came into my mind, then I started thinking about it, and I can't stop thinking about it anymore, and I start doing something else. I can be distracted so much, and this is very typical of me. And because I tend to do something that which interests me, and once I get interested in something or something else, I can't stop thinking about it, and I tend to stop something that I was doing, and then I start doing something new. This is very, very typical of me, and I'd better try to change this attitude, but at the same time, I know that there is nothing I can do about this because this is typical of me. This is me. So because I tend to have more and more interesting things, I tend to find something new. I tend to find something more interesting. So I can't stop this way of thinking, this way of doing things. And okay, anyway, and I thought this is the book for me at the moment. This is the right book. That's it. This is it. Anyway, I am interested in this book. I bought in the year 2014, and for the last nearly 10 years, it had been on my bookshelf. And now it's like I got interested in it for the first time for such a long time. And since I'm interested in this book, I find it intriguing. I really want to do this. I want to practice my English using this book. And I found the CD at last. Okay, I found the CD at last. And I imported it in my iPad. And now I'm using the CD while I'm copying it. I'm mimicking the speakers. And it's very interesting. I'm really enjoying myself doing this. And then I think I can learn lots of things. And I think this is okay, even though I tend to I tend to do this and that here and there. I can be distracted, and I can be restless, and I can be changeable, and I tend to be whimsical. But as long as I keep going, I think it's okay. No matter how many times I change my studying materials, no matter how much I can't stay. I don't know if my English is okay or not, but I don't stick to just one thing for a long time. But I think as long as I keep going, and as long as I keep studying English, as long as I try to improve my English, no matter how much I change, I know this is not right. What kind of studying material I use isn't a big deal. This is what I think. This is I believe. And until the end of this year, anyway, I really want to work hard to improve my speaking. I have only December, November, October, about 3 months from now, and I don't know how much progress I can make, but I'll never want to stop, because the more I do, the better I can be at it. This is what I believe, and I will never give up. I will never want to give up. Learning foreign languages is tough, but this is the only way I can go, because I cannot improve my foreign languages like babies do. To my disappointment, though. Okay, that's about it for today. Thank you very much for listening. I'll be back tomorrow too. Have a great day tomorrow. Okay, thank you. Bye-bye.